Hey friends, tonight we're diving into something that'll make your jaw drop. A lesson on mastering the game of persuasion so easily, you'll wonder why you didn't learn this sooner. Picture this. You're standing in a bustling 1950s diner, the air thick with the scent of freshly brewed coffee and warm apple pie, the jukebox humming a soft Elvis tune in the background. You're at the counter, trying to convince the waiter to sneak you an extra slice of pie without paying. Sounds tricky, right? Honestly, without the right skills, you probably wouldn't survive the awkward silence that follows. So before you settle in, take a quick second to like this video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely vibe with what I'm sharing here. Oh, and drop a comment with your location and local time. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Now, sit up straight, focus, and let's embark on a journey that'll shift your mindset forever. You're still at that diner counter, the waiter's skeptical eyes locked on yours, his arms crossed like he's heard every excuse in the book. You feel the cool, chrome edge of the stool under your fingertips, the faint stickiness of spilled syrup on the counter making your skin tingle. Persuasion isn't about forcing someone, it's about understanding them. You take a deep breath, the faint scent of grease and sugar filling your lungs, and decide to start with a single phrase that could change everything. Back in 1954, a study by social psychologist Carl Hovland showed that credibility is key in persuasion. People are more likely to say yes if they trust you. So, you lean in slightly, your voice low and steady, and say, "I've been coming here every week for years. You know I'm good for it." The waiter's brow softens, just a little. You've planted a seed of trust. But here's a weird little detail most people don't know. Hovland's research also revealed that people are more persuadable when they're slightly distracted. Think about that jukebox in the corner, its melody pulling the waiter's attention for a split second. You time your next move perfectly. You're always so kind to regulars, you add, your tone warm like a late-night radio host, almost hypnotic. The waiter chuckles, a small victory, but you're not done yet. Historians still debate whether Hovland's findings apply universally or if cultural norms of the 1950s skewed his results. Some say modern attention spans might change the game entirely. But right now, in this moment, it's working for you. You smile, a genuine one, the kind that makes your eyes crinkle, and the waiter mirrors it without even realizing. It's like a secret handshake, but with emotions. You're building a bridge, not a wall. Now, you're ready to push a little further, but not too hard. Persuasion is a dance, not a wrestling match. You tilt your head, your voice dropping to a whisper. "How about just a tiny slice? I'll owe you one." The waiter hesitates, then laughs. "You're trouble, you know that?" Bingo. He's hooked. You've just learned your first lesson. Persuasion starts with trust, and a well-timed distraction doesn't hurt either. You take a sip of your coffee, the bitter warmth spreading across your tongue, and feel a rush of confidence. This isn't just about pie. It's about understanding how people tick. You glance around the diner, the red vinyl booths glowing under the fluorescent lights, and spot a couple arguing quietly in the corner. They're your next challenge. You slide off the stool, your sneakers squeaking on the checkered floor, and decide to test your new skills. What if you could get them to smile at each other again? You've got the waiter on your side now. Maybe he'll even slip you that pie while you're at it. The couple's voices are low but tense, the woman's hands fidgeting with a napkin, the man staring out the window like he'd rather be anywhere else. You approach slowly, the scent of their untouched burgers hitting you as you get closer. You're not here to intrude, just to nudge them in the right direction. You've already learned that trust is your foundation, but now you need to add a layer: connection. You pull up a chair, keeping your movements smooth, almost lazy, like you're just a friend dropping by. "Mind if I join for a sec?" you ask, your voice soft, the kind that lulls someone into a late-night confession. They glance at each other, unsure, but they don't say no. You start small, mentioning the jukebox song. Turns out it's their song, the one they danced to on their first date. You didn't know that, but you guessed, and it lands perfectly. "Funny how music can bring back memories, huh?" you say, letting the words hang in the air like a gentle breeze. The woman's eyes soften, and the man finally looks at her, a flicker of a smile on his lips. You're not forcing them to talk. You're giving them a reason to connect again. And just like that, you've set the stage for something bigger. You lean back, the chair creaking slightly, and think to yourself, this persuasion thing? It's easier than I thought. But you're just getting started. You're still at that 1950s diner, the couple in the corner now sharing a tentative smile, their argument softening like butter on a warm roll. You feel the buzz of success, the kind that makes your chest puff out a little, but you're not done yet. The jukebox hums another tune, this time a slow Nat King Cole number, its melody wrapping around you like a cozy blanket. You've already mastered the art of planting trust with a single phrase, but now it's time to harness the power of charm. Because if you can make people adore you instantly, persuasion becomes as easy as breathing. You glance back at the waiter, who's sliding that extra slice of pie your way with a wink. You nod in thanks, the flaky crust already calling your name, but your focus shifts. Charm isn't just about words, it's about making someone feel like they're the only person in the room. You turn back to the couple, the woman's napkin now a crumpled mess in her hands, the man's shoulders still a bit stiff. You lean in, your voice dropping to that ASMR-worthy whisper, the kind that makes people lean closer without even realizing it. You two look like you've got a story, you say, your tone warm, like you're sharing a secret over a campfire. Charm starts with genuine interest, and you're about to prove it. In the 1950s, a lesser-known study by psychologist Solomon Asch showed that people are drawn to those who mirror their emotions. Subtle mimicry builds connection fast. So you match the woman's softer tone, your eyes crinkling just like hers did when she smiled earlier. I bet you've been through a lot together, you add, letting the words linger like the last note of a lullaby. Here's a quirky detail most people don't know. Asch once found that people in the 1950s were especially charmed by someone who could hum a tune they recognized. It's a small thing, but it works like magic. You start humming the Nat King Cole song playing on the jukebox, just loud enough for them to hear. The woman's eyes light up and she joins in for a moment, her voice shaky but sweet. The man chuckles, she always loved that song. And suddenly, they're both looking at you like you're an old friend. You've cracked the code. Charm is about creating a shared moment, something that feels uniquely theirs, but includes you. Historians still debate whether Asch's findings were influenced by the post-war optimism of the 1950s, or if mirroring works just as well today. Some say our modern cynicism might make us more skeptical. But right now, it's working like a charm, pun intended. You take a bite of your pie, the tart apple filling bursting on your tongue, and let the couple talk. They're reminiscing now, the woman laughing about their first date, the man admitting he was too nervous to dance properly. You're not leading the conversation, you're guiding it, like a gentle nudge on a steering wheel. You nod at just the right moments, your eyes locked on theirs, making them feel seen. You're a good listener, the woman says, almost surprised, and you smile. I just like a good story. That's your first little joke of the night, because let's be real, you're here for more than stories, but they don't need to know that yet. You sip your coffee again, the ceramic mug warm against your palms, and decide to test your charm on someone new. There's a lone guy at the counter, his fedora tipped low, nursing a milkshake like it's his lifeline. He looks like he hasn't smiled in a decade, perfect challenge. You slide over, the vinyl stool squeaking under you, and lean in with that same hypnotic tone. That milkshake looks like it's seen better days, you say, your voice soft but playful. He glances up, a little startled, but you keep going. Bet I can guess your flavor. Chocolate, right? He snorts, vanilla actually, and you laugh. Well, I'm off to a great start then. Your second joke lands and he cracks a small grin. Charm isn't about being perfect, it's about being human. You mirror his posture now, leaning on the counter just like he is, your movements slow and deliberate. You ask about his day, your voice like a late-night radio host, soothing and unhurried. He starts talking. Turns out he's a mechanic, and his boss just chewed him out for a late repair. You listen, really listen, the hum of the diner fading into the background as his words take center stage. You don't interrupt, don't offer advice, just let him spill. When he's done, you tilt your head. Sounds like you're the guy who keeps everything running, even when it's a mess. He blinks, then nods, a real smile breaking through. You've just made him feel valued, and that's the heart of charm. You glance back at the couple who are now holding hands across the table, their burgers still untouched but their tension gone. You've got the diner under your spell, and it feels like you're floating. The mechanic offers to buy you a milkshake, vanilla, of course, and you accept, the cold glass chilling your fingers as you clink it against his. To better days, you say, your third little joke slipping in? Or at least, better milkshakes. He laughs, and you know you've nailed it. Charm isn't manipulation, it's connection, and you're getting better at it by the second. But the real test is coming. Can you get people to agree with you without a fight? That's the next step in mastering persuasion, and you're ready to dive in. You're still in that 1950s diner, the air now a little warmer from the buzz of conversation around you. The couple in the corner is laughing softly, their hands still intertwined, while the mechanic at the counter sips his vanilla milkshake, a faint smile lingering on his face. You've already won them over with trust and charm, the jukebox now playing a lively Chuck Berry tune that makes your foot tap against the checkered floor. The scent of fried onions and burgers fills the air, mixing with the sweetness of your pie crust still lingering on your tongue. You've learned how to make people adore you, but now it's time to decode the art of agreement, getting people to nod along without a single argument. You take a slow sip of your milkshake, the icy vanilla cooling your throat, and scan the diner for your next challenge. There's a group of 3 friends at a booth near the window, their voices loud and overlapping as they debate where to go next, bowling or the drive-in theater. You can feel the tension from here, the kind that crackles like static on a radio. You slide off your stool, the squeak of vinyl barely audible over the music, and approach with that same easy, hypnotic tone you've been perfecting. Sounds like you've got a big night ahead, you say, your voice smooth as a late-night whisper, the kind that makes people pause and listen. In 1956, psychologist Leon Festinger introduced cognitive dissonance theory, showing that people feel uncomfortable when their beliefs clash with their actions, so they'll often agree just to ease that tension. You're about to use that to your advantage. You pull up a chair, the metal legs scraping softly against the floor, and lean in, your elbows resting on the table. The friends, a guy with slicked back hair, a girl in a polka dot dress, and another guy with a leather jacket, look at you, curious but guarded. You start by finding common ground, a trick that makes agreement feel natural. I heard the drive-in's playing a new sci-fi flick tonight, you say, your tone casual, like you're just tossing out a thought. The girl's eyes light up. I love sci-fi, and you nod, mirroring her excitement. Here's a strange little tidbit. Festinger once noted that people in the 1950s were oddly more likely to agree on entertainment choices if someone mentioned aliens, thanks to the era's obsession with UFO sightings. So you add, it's got aliens invading. Heard it's a wild one. The guy with the leather jacket chuckles. Aliens, huh? I'm in. You've got 2 on board, but the slicked back hair guy isn't convinced. He's pushing for bowling. You don't argue. Instead, you lean into his perspective, your voice still soft, almost lulling. Bowling's a solid choice too. Nothing beats the sound of a strike, right? He nods, his shoulders relaxing, and you feel the shift. You're not fighting him. You're aligning with him. Historians still debate whether Festinger's theory fully explains group dynamics in the 1950s, or if post-war conformity played a bigger role in people's eagerness to agree. But right now, it's working. You tilt your head, your tone playful. What if we flipped a coin? Heads for the drive-in, tails for bowling. Worst case, you'll get to show off your strike next time. He laughs. You're sneaky, aren't you? Your first little joke of the night lands, and he's already reaching for a quarter. The coin flips, glinting under the diner's fluorescent lights, and lands on heads. The group cheers, and you grin, feeling the rush of getting everyone on the same page without a fight. You lean back, the chair creaking under you, and take another sip of your milkshake, the cold sweetness a perfect reward. But you're not done testing this skill. You spot a waitress rushing by, her tray wobbling with empty plates, and decide to try something smaller. Hey, mind if I steal a quick refill on this milkshake? You ask, your voice gentle, almost melodic. She hesitates, clearly busy, but you add, "You're doing an amazing job keeping this place running. I owe you one." She smiles, "Only because you asked so nicely." Your second joke slips in, "I'm practicing for the charm contest," and she laughs, grabbing your glass. You've just made agreement feel effortless, like a dance where everyone knows the steps. But what about when someone flat out says no? You glance at the diner's door as a new customer walks in, a gruff-looking man in a worn coat, his face set in a scowl. He's your next target. You stand, the cool air from the open door brushing your skin, and approach him as he takes a seat at the counter. "Rough night?" you ask, your tone soft but curious. He grunts, "You could say that." You're about to learn how to handle resistance, but for now, you savor the victory of the group's agreement. The jukebox switches to a slower tune, and you think to yourself, "If I can make a whole group agree, I can handle one grumpy guy." You've got this persuasion game in the bag, or at least, you're getting there. You're still in that cozy 1950s diner, the jukebox now playing a mellow Patsy Cline song that drifts through the air like a gentle sigh. The group by the window is gathering their coats, excited for the drive-in, while the waitress refills your milkshake with a playful wink. Your charm and agreement skills are paying off. You feel the smooth glass in your hand, the cold vanilla soothing your fingertips, but your eyes catch that gruff man in the worn coat at the counter. He's scowling into his coffee, the steam rising like a shield around him. You've mastered getting people to nod along, but now it's time to navigate resistance gracefully, turning a no into a stepping stone to success. You take a deep breath, the faint scent of burnt toast lingering, and decide to approach him, your sneakers whispering against the checkered floor. You slide onto the stool next to him, keeping your movements slow and unthreatening, the vinyl creaking softly under you. "Looks like that coffee's giving you a hard time," you say, your voice a low, soothing hum, the kind that could lull someone to sleep on a late-night drive. He grunts again. It's fine, but his tone says otherwise. Resistance is natural, people don't like being pushed, and you're about to turn that to your advantage. Back in 1952, psychologist Kurt Lewin proved that people resist change unless they feel part of the decision-making process. So, you don't demand anything. Instead, you offer a choice. "Want to try the pie instead? Apple or cherry? Your call," you suggest, your tone light, like you're just tossing out an idea. He hesitates, his scowl softening, and mutters, "Cherry, I guess." Here's a quirky fact most don't know. Lewin once observed that people in the 1950s were more likely to agree after a small concession, like choosing a flavor, because it gave them a sense of control. You nod, signaling the waiter with a subtle wave, and the man watches as a warm slice of cherry pie lands in front of him. "Looks better than that coffee, huh?" you say, your first little joke slipping in, and he cracks a tiny smirk. You've turned his resistance into a win, but you're not stopping there. Historians still debate whether Lewin's findings were shaped by the conformity of post-war America, or if human nature has always craved autonomy. Some argue modern individualism might shift the approach. Either way, it's working for you now. You lean back, the chair creaking under your weight, and let him eat in peace for a moment, the sweet scent of cherries filling the space between you. Then you try something bolder. "Bet you've had a long day? Any chance I could hear about it?" you ask, your voice dropping to that hypnotic whisper. He pauses, fork midair, and says, "Work's a mess. Boss is a jerk." You nod, mirroring his frustration with a slight frown, your eyes locked on his. "Sounds rough. I've been there," you reply, letting him feel understood. Resistance melts when people feel heard, and you're proving it. He starts talking, his voice low but steady, about a busted engine that cost him hours. You listen, the diner's hum fading, and when he's done, you tilt your head. "Sounds like you deserve a break. How about I get the next coffee?" He chuckles. You're persistent, your second joke landing softly, and agrees. You signal the waiter again, feeling the thrill of turning a no into a yes. But the real test comes when the man's phone rings, a rotary dial clattering on the counter, and he scowls again, muttering, "Not him again." It's his boss, and you can tell from his clenched jaw he's about to say no to whatever's coming. You lean in, your voice still calm. Why not let him wait a bit? You've earned a minute. He hesitates, then sets the phone down, the ring cutting off mid-tone. You've just navigated resistance into an opportunity. He's choosing to prioritize himself, thanks to your nudge. The pie's gone now, and he looks lighter, like a weight's lifted from his shoulders. You sip your milkshake, the coldness a sharp contrast to the warmth spreading through you, and glance around. The diner's filling up, the clatter of plates and chatter rising, but you're focused. That couple from earlier waves as they head out, and you wink back, remembering how you turned their tension into connection. You've got a knack for this now, but building lasting influence is the next step. You turn back to the man, who's now eyeing the jukebox. Pick a song, you suggest, and he nods, heading over with a newfound ease. You've turned his resistance into a stepping stone, and it feels like you're unlocking a new level of this persuasion game. The night's young, and you're ready to see how far this can take you. You're still basking in the glow of that 1950s diner, the jukebox now spinning a lively Little Richard track that makes the floor vibrate under your sneakers. The gruff man in the worn coat is swaying slightly by the jukebox, a coin in hand thanks to your nudge, while the couple from earlier lingers by the door, waving one last time. You feel the cool glass of your milkshake against your palm, the vanilla lingering on your lips, and a quiet pride settles in your chest. You've turned resistance into opportunity, but now it's time to create a persuasion habit loop, building small, daily tricks that make influence second nature. The scent of fresh coffee wafts over as the waitress refills a pot, and you decide to weave this skill into your routine, one step at a time. You slide off your stool, the vinyl releasing you with a soft pop, and head toward the counter where a new customer, a young guy with a nervous tic, fidgets with a newspaper. You settle beside him, the counter's edge smooth under your elbows, and start with something simple. That paper looks like it's got some wild stories, you say, your voice a soothing murmur, the kind that pulls people in like a late-night podcast. In 1957, behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner showed that habits form through consistent rewards. Repetition with positive feedback wires your brain for action. So you make this a habit, noticing details and commenting on them. The guy glances up, yeah, mostly bad news, and you nod, at least it's entertaining chaos. He smirks, and you feel the reward, connection. Here's a weird little fact. Skinner once trained pigeons to peck at specific patterns by rewarding them with food, and some say humans aren't much different when it comes to habit loops. You chuckle at the thought, keeping it to yourself, and decide to build on this. Every day, you'll start conversations with a small observation. Maybe the weather, a song, a stranger's hat. You try it again with the guy. Nice tie. Did you pick it for a special occasion? He adjusts it, a little flustered. Just work. But he's talking now. Your first little joke slips in, well, it's the fanciest tie this diner's seen all week. And he laughs, the tension easing. You've just reinforced the habit with a smile. Reward delivered. Historians still debate whether Skinner's behaviorism oversimplified human motivation, or if modern neuroscience proves his reward loops are universal. Some argue emotions play a bigger role today. But you're seeing it work. You lean back, the chair creaking, and make a mental note to practice this daily. The guy opens up about his job interview nerves, and you listen, your head tilted slightly, mirroring his posture. You've got this. Confidence is half the battle, you say, your tone warm, and he nods, a flicker of belief in his eyes. That's your second reward, and the habit loop strengthens. You sip your milkshake, the coldness a refreshing anchor, and think about tomorrow. Maybe you'll try this at the bus stop. You spot the waitress again, her tray balanced like a tightrope act, and decide to test your loop further. That tray's a work of art, you say, your voice soft but playful, and she grins. Years of practice. You add, bet you could teach a circus. Your second joke landing, and she laughs, setting down an extra napkin as a reward. You've got it. The habit is sticking. Every interaction becomes a chance to persuade, and you feel it clicking into place. The diner's hum surrounds you, the clink of plates and chatter blending into a rhythm, and you realize this is becoming part of you. You glance at the clock, a neon sign blinking 9 p.m., and decide to push the loop one more time. There's an older woman by the window, sipping tea alone, her fingers tracing the rim of her cup. You approach, the floor cool under your feet, and say, that tea smells like a cozy night in. She looks up, surprised. It's chamomile. Helps me unwind. You nod. Perfect choice. Beats my milkshake any day. Your third joke earning a chuckle. She shares a story about her garden, and you listen, your habit loop reinforcing with every nod. You're building lasting influence, one small interaction at a time, and it feels like a superpower waking up. You head back to your stool, the vinyl welcoming you again, and think about tomorrow. Maybe you'll charm the postman, or nudge a coworker into a better mood. The habit loop is yours now. Observe, connect, reward, and it's growing stronger. The gruff man returns from the jukebox, a new tune playing, and nods at you. Good pick earlier. You smile, remembering how you turned his resistance, and know this is just the beginning. Your persuasion skills are weaving into your life, a quiet thread that's about to become a tapestry. The night stretches on, and you're ready to live this mastery every day. You're still lingering in that 1950s diner, the neon clock now ticking past 30 p.m., its soft glow casting a warm halo over the counter. The jukebox hums a final tune, a slow Doris Day ballad that feels like a gentle hug, wrapping the diner in a dreamy haze. The young guy with the nervous tic is gone, off to his interview with a newfound confidence you helped spark, while the older woman by the window sips her chamomile tea, a faint smile on her lips from your earlier chat. You've built a habit loop of persuasion. Observe, connect, reward, and it's becoming second nature, the scent of coffee and pie, now a comforting backdrop to your journey. Now you're ready to live as a persuasion master, watching how this skill transforms your daily life forever. You take a final sip of your milkshake, the last drop of vanilla, a sweet farewell, and feel the diner's energy shift around you. You stand, stretching your legs, the checkered floor cool beneath your sneakers, and decide to test your mastery one last time before leaving. The gruff man from earlier is back at the counter, finishing a second cup of coffee, his coat now draped over the stool. You approach, your voice a soothing whisper. Heading out soon? He nods. Yeah, long day. You've already turned his resistance into opportunity, but now you want to leave a lasting impression. In 1959, social psychologist Robert Cialdini began early studies on influence, later noting that consistency is key. People are more likely to follow through if they commit to something small first. So you say, if I'm here next week, let's share a pie, cherry again? He chuckles. You're on, committing to a future connection. You've just woven your persuasion into his life. Here's an odd little detail. Cialdini once found that people in the 1950s were more likely to honor commitments made over food, a quirk tied to the era's diner culture of handshake deals over meals. You smile, remembering the cherry pie you shared earlier, and know this bond will stick. Historians still debate whether Cialdini's early work overemphasized social norms of the time, or if consistency is a timeless human trait. Some argue modern distractions make it harder today, but for now, it's working. You wave to the waitress, who slips you a to-go cup of coffee on the house, and you thank her with a grin. You're the real MVP of this diner, your first little joke of the night earning a laugh. Your persuasion mastery is now a part of every interaction, effortless and natural. You step outside, the night air crisp against your skin, the stars above twinkling like a promise of more adventures. You think about tomorrow. Maybe you'll persuade your neighbor to join you for a walk, or nudge a friend into trying that new cafe. Every moment becomes an opportunity, and it feels like you're floating. You pass a group of teens laughing by the curb, and with a gentle nod, you say, "Nice night for a stroll, huh?" They agree, and you add, "Don't trip over the moon, it's extra bright tonight." Your second joke making them giggle. Your influence is seamless, a quiet thread weaving through your life, and you love how it feels. Back at home, you kick off your sneakers, the faint scent of diner coffee still clinging to your jacket, and settle into your chair. You've transformed. The way you talk, listen, and connect is now a masterpiece of persuasion. You think about that nervous guy, the gruff man, the couple, all touched by your skill. "Guess I'm the diner whisperer now," you murmur, your third joke a quiet chuckle to yourself. This isn't just a skill, it's a lifestyle, one that's changed you forever. You close your eyes, the day's lessons settling into your bones, and feel ready for whatever comes next. Now let's slow down just for a moment. Picture yourself by a quiet lake, The water still as glass, reflecting the soft glow of a crescent moon. The air is cool, a gentle breeze brushing your skin, carrying the faint scent of pine. You're sitting on a smooth rock, your breathing slow and steady, each exhale melting away any lingering tension. The stars above twinkle softly, whispering secrets of the universe, and you feel a deep calm spreading through you, like a warm blanket on a chilly night. Your journey today was powerful, and you've grown in ways you never imagined. Let this peace sink in, wrapping around you like a lullaby, your mind drifting, lighter with every breath. You're exactly where you need to be, and everything is just right. If you want to learn more and grow even wiser, you know what to do.